What's up guys, got a huge iPhone 8 update for you today. Lots of information, feature leaks, price, even a look at the physical device itself. But before I get into that, just wanted to say the AirPods giveaway, haven't forgot about that. I will be drawing winners this weekend. And just for this video, I thought because the reaction was so big, I'll give away another pair. Let me make someone else's weekend. So a white, just regular pair of AirPods I'll be shipping to your house. To enter, just like this video, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and get into that update. Now take a look at this. BGR has obtained images of the actual device itself. It closely resembles the leak we saw just a little bit ago of the prototype, and it basically has a stainless steel border going around the phone, a longer power button, that dual vertical camera on the rear, and a glass design front and back. This is very, very close in resemblance to all the leaks and schematics and everything that we've seen, so this may be your first look at the actual device. Front of the device isn't very clear here, so we can't really make out what's going on there, but it looks quite sleek. I like it. It's a bit thick, a bit chunky looking, but I think that's just the proportions here. Otherwise, thumbs up for me. I do like the way it looks. And earlier last week, Apple was granted a patent to make this design a reality, to make the technology that we've been hearing so much about a reality, and that would be the bezel-less display as well as embedded Touch ID. Officially, the patent note is called reducing the border area of a device. So essentially, you're going to be able to get a huge display on the front of the phone, making use of that display to put in more menus, stuff like that. That's what it talks about in the description, as well as the possibility of a fingerprint embedded underneath the glass on the front of the display without having to put an ugly fingerprint sensor on the rear of the phone or even on the power button. So that's cool. This brings us one step closer for that to be a reality, but we're gonna have to wait and see if Apple could fit that in before the release. And the reason I mention this is because you're not gonna like this next piece of news. A research firm called CLSA has said there is a very high chance that the rear Touch ID may stick around after all, like the Galaxy S8, just because Apple didn't have enough time to put it into the front of the display. I really hope they're wrong, but they even provided these diagrams to show us what that would look like. They give us an area on the back of the phone where this would be embedded, and they didn't necessarily say there would be a circle for it. It may be just right underneath the glass, who knows? That'd be a little bit more elegant, but still, I'd much rather have it on the front of the phone. Comfort-wise, usability-wise, it's a much better solution. So these diagrams basically show how that would work and how this thing roughly will look. And I just wanted to clarify the display on the front of the phone on the very top. How is that going to work? We know on the bottom there's a very good chance that it will go all the way down and around the edges of the phone, but the top, we've got the earpiece in there, we've got all the sensors, so the best, most realistic look as to how Apple is going to do it is like this. They're essentially going to carve those around the display, and with an OLED, that is definitely possible. And this was confirmed by Vania Geskin. He said this, from his insider source, said is how it's going to look. Apple's going to do something similar, and his own concept is like Apple will stick the status bar up in there, the time. They'll make use of it with a black kind of a blend in the top corners of the display. I think that looked kind of cool, but we predicted, we kind of guessed this in a concept, didn't really know that's how it would be. Apparently that's how it is going to be now. Some good news about the iPhone 8 speakers. A JP Morgan analyst says there will be improvements to the earpiece and further improvements to the stereo sound. So the actual sound output of the iPhone 8 is going to be getting better. The earpiece will have some sort of improvements as well. As we know, Apple kind of shoehorned a stereo speaker in there for the iPhone 7, and they're only going to be improving it. Now, it didn't really say how, but probably in terms of volume, it'll get louder. Also, he says there will be further improvements to the waterproofing of that earpiece as well. Probably one of the weakest points on the iPhone 7 right now as for the water resistance. If they bump that up, they can easily get an IP68 rating, you know, alongside the additional enhanced glue that they're going to put inside the chassis that we heard about a long time ago. So the iPhone 8 has a very good chance of getting improved water resistance, capable of 5 feet for 30 minutes just to sit there. So I think that's an awesome piece of news. And on the topic of durability, Apple has just made a huge investment, $200 million into Corning Gorilla Glass. So Corning makes the glass in a lot of top smartphones nowadays, the Galaxy S8, Gorilla Glass 5. You know, it's a very good glass. It's impact resistant at 80% for 5 feet drops, I believe right now. It's quite durable. And believe it or not, Apple has been using Gorilla Glass this entire time. You know, they don't market it as Gorilla Glass, they market it as dual ion glass, but it's made by Corning, so pretty much the same thing. Now, it's unknown if they're going to be using official Gorilla Glass 5 in the upcoming iPhone, but it's a safe bet that they're going to have some special concentration, some special formula for this upcoming glass, and it means more durable iPhone, which is awesome. And in the same research notes from JP Morgan, they are claiming that the iPhone 8 may come bundled with Apple AirPods. Now, that would be something awesome. I mean, if Samsung can do it with the AKG earbuds that are worth, they say, about $150, they include that in the box with the Galaxy S8, I see Apple could certainly do this. The included AirPods, of course, would be replaced with AirPods for $150 value. Now, that would somewhat justify the huge price tag on the iPhone 8, but man, that would be crazy if Apple actually did that. I think a lot of people would buy that just because of the AirPods. You know, the chances of this happening probably isn't too high, but JP Morgan says it's a possibility. And again, in the same report, JP Morgan did also confirm a lot of things we already know about the iPhone 8. The steel border around it, the glass front and back, wireless charging, faster processor, I mean, of course, improved cameras, 3D sensing, FaceTime cameras, as well as a price tag that's $75 to $80 higher because of all of these features. And take a look at this. This made the rounds all over the internet the other day. So apparently an Ion X equipped some sort of iPhone 7s glass, iPhone SE, and when it leaked, it just didn't make sense to me. If Apple were to refresh the iPhone SE, they wouldn't give it a glass back. That would be highly unlikely. The iPhone 7s wasn't supposed to get a glass back, so what the heck is this? It looks nothing like the iPhone 8 rumors, but it was quickly debunked by Vanya Geskin once again. So it had a lot of inconsistencies. This was actually some sort of unknown branded phone that they just took off the original logos and put on a quickly off-centered Apple logo that they placed on there. So just thought that was interesting. Don't believe everything you hear on the internet. This is definitely not the iPhone 7s, nor is it the iPhone SE 2. It's a complete fake. And take a look at these concepts. So these are coming from two completely separate sources, one from OnLeaks in collaboration with another company. And they're saying they received from an insider source the actual CAD files to build the 3D model of the iPhone 8. So they took that and reconstructed it into these concepts. And this is what it looks like. Very, very close to what the real deal is going to be. You know, from everything that we've seen, it's got all of the same features. And they put it into 3D, looks quite good. And can't really say this shows us anything different, but it's nice to see it from a more professional perspective. Also, Engadget took the very same CAD file. Actually, they said it was from a different source. This may be from a completely different source, but same end product here. It's the iPhone 8, but the front, they completely botched. I think they completely guessed on that one. As Vanya Geskin says, they are intentionally misrepresenting the iPhone and putting a bezel on it that's not going to be there. So ignore the front, but everything else is pretty in line with everything that we've heard about the iPhone 8. Now, I was a little disappointed to see this headline once again. This very well may be the most expensive iPhone ever because, again, of all of these components, all of these new features, everything will add up fast. So Goldman Sachs, I think that's how you pronounce it, analyst is saying that the iPhone 8 will start at 128 gigabytes at $999 and quickly will surpass $1,000 with the 256 gigabyte storage option at $1,099. You know, that's quite expensive. I'm willing to pay that much, but not everybody will. And that's exactly why there will be a cheaper iPhone 7s model if you don't want to, dish out all that cash for the higher end model. So just letting you guys know, it will be expensive. The analyst is saying the parts cost will be $70 more over the iPhone 7 Plus right now. So it'll be quite expensive to make, and as a justification, Apple's raising the price as well. In earlier news, though, we talked about how it wouldn't be $1,000. A different analyst was saying it would start anywhere from $850 to $900 for the 128 model, and 256 would be anywhere from $950 to $1,000. So hopefully it's in that range, but if it gets a little bit more expensive, it honestly wouldn't deter me. I would still buy it. And some good news from Economic Daily News in China. They're saying that everything is A-OK. Production is set to start in June, and we're going to be seeing the iPhone at launch alongside the iPhone 7s in September with a release in October. So that is great news. We might not even have to wait until December to get one. I mean, I think it'll still sell out at launch, but it'll be easier to get than previously estimated. We'll have to see, but that's some good news. I like to hear that. And a couple details about this production. So LG was named the actual supplier for the 3D sensing augmented reality camera, the FaceTime cameras that will be able to 3D model your face to unlock your phone. LG is going to be making those. And as for the actual chip, TSMC, which is going to be the sole maker of the A11 10nm chip, has begun production right now. So they fixed any issues they've had at the beginning, and that's rolling out. These chips are just going to be monsters. If the A10 right now is crazy, beating everybody in the game, the A11 will be on a whole nother level, even efficiency wise, everything. I'm so excited to see that. And illuminated printed circuit boards for connectors. This is a new patent filed by Apple, which essentially would mean that connectors in the future, lightning connectors, will have some LEDs on them, possibly an LED ring around the connector, that when you plug your phone into this connector, it would light up a color to let you know that it's being charged properly, connected properly, and possibly when it's fully charged, it'll glow a different color. Pretty cool. It's still being filed, doesn't mean Apple was granted this patent, but possibly connectors in the future may glow. And if you guys remember the true wireless charging in the past we talked about from Energis that would allow you to charge your phone once you walked into a room, the actual sensors that would communicate with these charging towers have been released on market. So they're available to ship later this month or later next month in June. I'm just saying that it's possible. It's completely possible for this technology to still make its way into the iPhone as it's available on market already. Highly unlikely, as everyone seems to confirm that inductive charging will make its way into the iPhone 8, but still, there's a small chance that could happen. If not this year, certainly next year. So guys, there it is. That's the latest on the iPhone 8. A lot of exciting little pieces of news. Things are starting to fall into place. We basically know the design of this thing. Even though I honestly don't like it that much, it still is the logical evolution for Apple, I guess. The display is just going to be killer for me personally. That's going to be my favorite feature, of course. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little update. Again, if you guys want to win those AirPods, drop a like down below, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be drawing winners this weekend. All right, guys, stay tuned. We got WWDC coming up with iOS 11 and a lot of exciting things between then. Peace.